What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. I've got a question today. Just one question. What's better? A less powerful 2-minute Ascendance or a more powerful 3-minute Ascendance? That is the only question we are here to answer today. And it's an important one because I think that potentially as you move into the higher Mythic Plus keys, I don't know why this video is staggering so much. I guess it's because it's on 2x speed. As you move into the higher Mythic Plus keys, what I've started to notice is that having Ascendance up on Ellie Shaman in particular more often is really, really powerful, especially for dealing with packs of mobs like this that have a really strong central mob and then a bunch of other like supporting mobs that have half the health of this guy or less. So inside Ascendance you can really, oh, I just gotta follow, appreciate you guys. Inside of Ascendance you can really destroy those priority targets. That is something that Ellie Shaman can do very well, especially in the Tempest build, because you can go like Earth Shock into the priority target, and then you get a Tempest proc, and Tempest is good for single target or AoE, but it happens to hit AoE, so you're still doing AoE damage. So, and if you're running like an Echoes build in particular, which I am not, I am running a regular Liquid Magma Totem build. I post the build down below. Then like if you're running like an Echoes build, it's even better because you can do that priority target. But what I'm thinking is that having Ascendance up more often for those kinds of packs that really need to die is a massive deal, in my opinion. And even outside of Ascendance, we're still doing good damage. I'm doing 3 million. 3 million here without Ascendance is fine. That's perfectly fine. But my Ascendance is only 15 seconds away right now, which is really crazy. I've already used it once on the first pack. Let's go to this next pack as I fail to try and get through this boat and freak out about it. There we go. So on this pack here, I have Ascendance up again. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. I'm just going to press it because my goal is to just press it as much as possible and to see what the results are. And again, I just think that if you take 2-minute Ascendance, you're essentially getting 50% more uptime on Ascendance, obviously, versus 3-minute Ascendance, right? That's a 1-minute difference. That's 50% more Ascendance than you would normally have, basically. I'm not sure if that math is actually 100% true, but I think that's basically what it is. So there's a couple of like implications here. Again, we just used Ascendance right there. On the next boat, we don't have Ascendance, but guess what? Once we're done this third boat, we will have Ascendance back up again for the boss fight, which is the more important thing, okay? So we've done Ascendance twice already. This will be our third Ascendance. We fit 1 extra Ascendance into this key already. And we're going to get to use Ascendance, I think, twice on this boss fight. So we do Ascendance right here, and we're pumping. We're blasting, of course, which is great. We don't even have Bloodlust, but we're just blasting. I know you're losing that 20% haste, but that is one really key element here. The 3-minute Ascendance lost, when you take the talent that supports it, you get 20% haste now, not 25. So they nerfed the haste value by a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean the talent's dead or anything. It just means that it's nerfed. So then we do the fly around thing. I've already used Ascendance once on this fight, and guess what? My Ascendance is coming back. So now I can bank up a bunch of Maelstrom here, get as high as I can, and then boom, pop Ascendance again. And I have it during the Obsidian Beam. That's okay. I've got a bunch of instant cast spells, so it really doesn't matter. We're not going to get hit by the beam. We're not interrupted at all during our Ascendance, which is great. So again, that helps to buff your damage even more. And on almost every single boss fight in the higher keys, as I was saying, you're going to get like 2 Ascendances on every boss fight at least, which I think is massive. To me, that just feels way stronger than just having one really powerful 3-minute Ascendance in a boss fight. So we get done with the boss, and then as soon as we're done with the boss, I almost have it back up again. We've landed on the ground, and this guy's going to gather these mobs together. We're going to go inside the house, and then I'm going to have it up again. and I can pop it and blow everybody up here. Once again, now that we have back to AoE damage. So I'm setting everything up. I have Tempest ready to go. There's my Ascendance into an immediate Tempest, and then boom, we're just doing crazy damage. We're going to start popping off here. I had to do some CC, so it wasn't the best Ascendance ever. But again, there's also less pressure on you when you're doing every Ascendance. There's less pressure to perform it perfectly, right? You don't have to line up all your cooldowns perfectly with like an Augvoker doing like Breath of Eons, and like I don't even have an Augvoker here, but do you know what I'm saying? There's less pressure on you if you happen to say die with that early on into an Ascendance window or something. It's okay because it's coming back a lot more quickly than it was before, and these packs just get deleted, which is, excuse me, really amazing. It just feels so good. To me, it just feels better. I'll just say that having the uptime just feels a lot better. And it felt like I was more useful to the group. Like I was able to contribute more damage when we really wanted it to the group, which is awesome. Tanks getting absolutely rolled. So that's my first big point, is that the uptime is a lot more. And I think it gives you insane damage, like really when you need it on certain packs, right? And on boss fights as well. This dungeon was a bit of a disaster, but I have Ascendance coming back here, right? So we've killed all the AoE packs almost. Got another AoE pack here. My Ascendance just came off cooldown now, so I could use it, but I'm going to save it for the mini boss, which is coming up next. So I lost maybe about 20 seconds of cooldown there. Bit annoying, but that's okay. If you're not using Ascendance on cooldown, if you don't line it up kind of perfectly, then you will be in trouble. But we have Ascendance now for the mini boss, which is really important. Unfortunately, the tank dies and then I die. But the idea there is sound, where you can have it up when you want it up for particular mobs. Okay, that's super important. Let's get past this guy. My next thing would be to say that having Ascendance up more often, inside of Ascendance, you generate more Maelstrom and you get tons of extra overloads, particularly on your Lightning Bolt and your Chain Lightning. And then guess what? We did the mini boss. We have Ascendance back up again for this pack here, which is really, really good. Here comes Ascendance. Boom. The healer dies. It was just a disaster, guys. I don't even want to talk about it. It was so bad. But I wanted to make sure I tested this like in a 12 environment to see like if it could actually keep up damage-wise. And I think it's actually really good. Again, we're doing 4 million now. We're back up to doing 4.5 million. Ascendance is just way too strong. So one really important thing is that you get to use a lot more spenders inside of an Ascendance window because you're generating so much extra Maelstrom inside that window. Let's watch my Ascendance window here. Watch how much Maelstrom I generate. I'm generating and spending. So there's multiple talents that are working well there. There's Aftershock, right? You're going to get more chances to proc Aftershock because you're generating more Maelstrom from the overloads. You're doing more damage from the overloads, but you're generating more resources, which allows you to use your spenders more often, which has a chance to proc Aftershock more often, and has a chance to proc Deeply Rooted more often. So there's like a whole bunch of extra things going on there. When you're inside of Ascendance, you are so strong, and you're generating so many resources that it might have a chance to proc additional Ascendances, which is the whole point, right? And it all kind of works together. So I think that the uptime, the higher uptime on Ascendance, to me, really supports all of that stuff. If you're running with Aftershock, if you have Deeply Rooted, which, you know, you really should, then it all works together to potentially give you even more Ascendance uptime via those Deeply Rooted procs. So that part is really cool. And the prio damage, the having the damage at the right moment in every single dungeon, I think that is really important as well. We're gonna have Ascendance up again for this mini boss. Like, you have it up for every single mini boss. Not that you wouldn't necessarily have it up on every single mini boss in this dungeon in particular, but again, for lots of other dungeons, I did it in a few different dungeons, and I just kept noticing like I had it up when I wanted it up. Does that make sense? And that was really good. That felt really nice. And then again, there's just the huge value of playing a Tempest build, getting more Tempest procs, multiple extra overloads from Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, right? They are getting buffed by your hero talent tree and have a chance to proc Tempest even more. So you're going to get more Tempest, more Aftershock resets. You're going to get more Deeply Rooted procs as a result. And in general, I just feel like Ascendance is up when I want it up. There's just so many good reasons, I think, to have this here. 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes. So in particular, I would say as you climb, but again, with Supercharge, as I just mentioned, your Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning in particular have a chance to cause an additional overload. The more time you spend inside of Ascendance getting guaranteed overloads, you'll have more additional overloads as well. So there's a lot going on there. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. I understand 20% extra haste and 3 extra seconds on Ascendance is very good. So an 18-second Ascendance with 20% haste is super good. But just all the points I've made here, I feel are very relevant to what we're doing now. And I feel like it just felt very strong to me. I did a couple 10s and 11s and 12s last night trying it out, and it just felt good. It just felt really smooth to me. My damage was always relevant. I feel like my overall damage was still really good as well. Did 1.7 in a Necrotic Wake 12. We actually didn't time it. We were over just a little bit. And then I had, I don't know why it doesn't have any other dungeons. I did a bunch of other dungeons as well, but I felt like the damage was still relevant every time I was doing it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would love to hear your thoughts on 2-minute Ascendance. If you guys have tried it at all, if you're still sticking to Preeminence, I totally understand, but I'm going to keep experimenting with this. If you want to see that on stream, it's twitch.tv/ZukoVibes. Come watch me play. We're going to keep trying this out and see if there's some real teeth here. I'm going to try and experiment with Elemental Blast and see like if there's even more value with Elemental Blast having Ascendance up more often, because we're generating more Maelstrom more often, I think. But I don't know. We're going to have to experiment with it. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. Love you all. I'll see you in the next one.